Day 2, clearing the farmland in the Dominican Republic. And I do like to get credit for work, but I gotta give a little props because I did not cut all these trees down. Our neighbor slash farmer friend Pedro did, and the reason why is because he has cows, and we gave him permission to use this land to graze his cows, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but there's a lot of grass here, and that's the primary food source for cows here in a pretty hot country that jungle grows really easily, but farmland needs to be nurtured. So thank you, Pedro. Muchas gracias, amigo, if you watch this. And so yesterday I talked about the the aroma trees are like the bad habit. These suckers stink like urine and sweat when you cut them down. And if you do not cut them down, if we don't cut them down, then they grow into this like monstrosity of jungle right back there. I mean, that is tall trees, and it pretty much just kills everything below, kills the grass, kills any other vegetation's hospitable for any kind of wildlife. So these trees are kind of like bad habits in our life, and a lot of lessons can be taken from this. 2 years ago when we bought this property, this is all grass, but we didn't know we had to cut these little trees down and spray them with poison, because we're like naturalist people. We're like, we don't do that. But there's no other way to do it. You gotta like chop them down and then spray like a very isolated amount of poison right on the stump. But I didn't know that. So here I am, cutting these guys up, dragging them over to a fire. I had 2 fires going, and I think that's lesson number 1 for getting over or conquering a bad habit. So if you notice, here's fire number 1, not burning. Fire number 2 is kind of burning. Something crashing in the jungle over there. And so that's lesson number 1. Have you ever had to be like, I'm gonna work on these things, and you kind of just half-heartedly do both of them, or you wholeheartedly do both of them, but then you have minimally successful results. That's kind of like starting 2 fires by myself here in the 90-degree weather. It's not effective. Minimally to moderately effective. Compared to yesterday, I had 1 fire just cooking and killed and burned and cleared a pretty good sized area. Thing number 2, I don't know if you can see here, but I am all scratched up and just tore up from these freaking, look at these spikes on these things. Just like massive thorns on them. And it's kind of like when a bad habit's gone for a bit. It's like to kind of beat it down, isn't it? It's like beats you up and feels awful, versus it's like stopping a bad habit in the beginning. However, is there any fault or blame? No. It's just like we didn't know, because we didn't know about these jungle trees that just take over and kill everything, but had to get done. And oftentimes people have been sold this idea of symptom management for coping mechanisms. You feel bad, do this thing, feel better. And is that a good habit? Well, it's not that bad. It doesn't kill you. I didn't die. That doesn't mean it's good. And when I say good, I mean, does it help you convert the stress in your life into strength? It's probably not a good habit. Probably a bad habit. Probably something that you're just doing to cope. And actually, I'm all for them. I'm a big fan of coping mechanisms. I just call them what they are. However, once that habit, just like these bushes, becomes to a point where now this land, your body, is no longer producing, it's time to get to work. However, is it easier if we just did it in the beginning? Yeah, it'd be way easier. I wouldn't be out here on this scorching day making fires when it feels like 106. And then, so observation number 2, something is not helping you to adapt and become more tough, more strengthened, then it's a bad habit, and eventually it may turn into a jungle of trees that you got to cut down, and it's going to suck to cut those trees down. Suck it up, buttercup. Number 3 is, I had a plan. And that plan was to come down here, do 2 fires. It didn't work. I'm gonna now focus on 1 fire. And then, in fact, since it feels like 100 degrees, I froze a bunch of water bottles, and they're still frozen solid in my cooler. So now I've taken my cooler and put it in the sun in order to melt my water. Thing number 3 is that sometimes our plan doesn't work out, and rather than be like, gosh, I'm so stupid, I should just take my water and go home, stop burning these trees. Instead, put them in the sun, melt them. An unconventional approach, by the way, for what coolers are usually used for. But I need water. So there's the 3 takeaways for killing a bad habit. Brought to you from the Dominican Republic as I clear these stupid aroma trees. And the next video should be my kids in Chelsea with me, because as of right now they're way up. I can figure it out here. Way up there, doing school. So look forward to them, because they're out here too, dragging these woods. The sins of the parents affect the sins of the kids. All right, I'm gonna get back to work.